Okay, so these are a couple of little kittens that have been brought in today. They're just here for neutering and microchipping, possibly vaccination. I'm going to check when their last vaccine was, and the owners come with so that we can get as many details as we can. I always do a full health check on a cat whenever it comes in, but especially the first time, because if we can get a good base on what's happened for them and how they've reacted to various situations, then we can plan treatment, a proper treatment plan out into the future. So Margot has brought me all the data that she has on her kittens. Most modern kittens have a file. Sometimes they have a trust account. She's done some research on the internet via the AVA. Interestingly, there's been a study shown recently that 50% of owners do some study on the before they get a cat. Mm-hmm. But when they answered the questions about the general health and life trajectory of cats, they didn't know anything. So part of the reason that we're doing these videos is because I'd like the correct information to get out there, because it's quite hard one, isn't it, to find out who's recommending what.
Oh, look, just looking up vaccinations is a nightmare, trying to work out which one you should have, when it should be done, and then you get to desexing and it's an even bigger nightmare. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you found me.
So
what I tell you is absolutely correct and scientifically based, and I've done many thousands now. I actually figured out the other day that I've handled over 400,000 cats.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of cats. So let's see if we can turn it to the individual as opposed to the general. So from the information from the other vet, I can see that it looks like they got wormed, and it looks like they had an eye problem. You wrote that they had an eye problem.
The female, Missy, was winking a lot, and I don't know whether we actually ended up using the ointment. I think we got it just in case it didn't go away, and it went away.
Okay, and then they got vaccinated and wormed again, and that was in January. So by the January 6th, they would have been November, December, about 10 weeks old. Is that the same date?
It looks like it.
Yeah, so they're 10 weeks old, and then they came in on the 3rd of February. So by then they would have been 14 weeks old. There is still a lot of debate about that. The standard now is 2 vaccinations over the age of 12 weeks. Most certainly the American Association of Feline Practitioners said that only 1 vaccine over the age of 12 weeks or 13 weeks was required, which is what this is based on. Right. However, they've now retracted that based on the fact that a lot of people did that and found that a significant percentage of kittens didn't have sufficient immunity to be able to fully respond. Now, because these guys came from a hole in the wall, although they've been very well fed now, and it seemed like they were pretty well fed beforehand, you can't know what the state of their immune system was.
That's true. Yeah.
So my philosophy is 2 over the age of 12 weeks, which is what we've done for the last 30 or 40 years, and I've defaulted to that. So I would recommend that today we do another vaccine.
Okay.
Then they don't need one for 12 months from now.
Yep.
My protocol after that is a vaccine once a year till they're 3 years old, and then every 2 years unless they go boarding. If they're out and about cats, there's evidence that they self-vaccinate by sniffing where other cats have been and the viral load that there is around and about. So once they're over 2 or 3 and they're in decent shape, then I think they don't need vaccinating nearly as often until they get old.
So hang on, you're saying that if they're outdoor cats, they might need less vaccination?
That's right, than indoor cats.
Everybody else is saying the opposite.
I know. It's... what can I say? We don't need vaccinating as often because we meet up with lots of other people.
Yeah.
So we're in constant contact, our immune system's stimulated. It's the indoor cat where the memory cells and the immune system just, slowly goes
So
down.
then they come in contact with one cat or one bandicoot or whatever, and they're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, but the bandicoots have the ticks, but
Yeah.
one other cat, or you come in and where another cat has rubbed against you or sneezed on you,
Right.
and they're in contact with the virus, and it just takes them an indoor cat who hasn't been vaccinated takes a lot longer to spool up their immune system. So my recommendation for boarding cats, in fact, is that they get vaccinated just before they go boarding, so they have the maximum amount of immunity during the time of maximum exposure. Now, we board cats here as well as deal with lots of other boarding cats, and that's what has evolved from my experience. The research is basically done on 9 cats.
Yeah.
Now there's millions of cats that you're extrapolating from 9 indoor, colony cats who have no other stresses in their life. So I have my reservations about the research, and of course there's lies, damn lies, and statistics. So you can build up whatever story you want. However, I find that on average, with a conservative approach, that seems to work for most cats. The other thing is that I think the main improvements in the longevity of the maintenance of immunity for a longer time is based on the fact that, one, we feed our cats better. I mean, without a doubt, we're all in better shape than we were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and the vaccines, of course, are much purer. So we get a much better vaccination response than we used to. So again, it depends on the lifestyle of the cat, the immune status, all those sorts of things. So now we have to customize it for every cat. I would like a protocol I could hand you, but instead I have to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's
a
all
good
right
way
too.
to go. We do that with humans, why not with cats?
Well, exactly right. I mean, I'm not going out and having my typhoid injection this year because I don't plan to drink any disgusting water, although you never know with Sydney.